Read the story, then answer questions 1 through 7. Excerpt from The Great Whale of Kansas by Richard W. Jennings. My story begins where a sadder story might end, with the digging of a hole. It was my 11th birthday, and, as is the case with all my birthday celebrations, it was also Groundhog Day, an occasion that honors a creature with whom I have more than a holiday in common. The groundhog, or woodchuck, is a solitary animal who spends much of his time either digging a hole or basking in the sunshine by the hole he has dug. That's me. I believe there is nothing, absolutely nothing, half so much worth doing as simply digging a hole. A hole is an achievement. A great hole is a great achievement. I was going to dig a great hole. My parents had given me a pond building kit for my birthday. They ordered it from a catalog filled with color photographs of water gardens on great European estates. It's a complete pond in a single compact box, they explained, using the exact words printed in the catalog. It has everything you need. And except for the tools, rocks, plants, fish, accessories, electrical power to the site, and the hole itself, it did. What I found in the box was a small underwater pump, a coil of plastic tubing, and a sheet of thick black plastic as big as my patio. There was also an instructional videotape in 2 languages. Never have I enjoyed a movie so much. I watched that video over and over again, waiting for the weather to warm up enough to break ground. Every night before going to sleep, I'd put it on and listen to the soothing voice of the narrator describe the calm, tranquility, and serenity of a private water garden. In English, and again in French, he spoke of dreaming dreams and soothing the soul. Step by fascinating step, he explained how to create an escape, a hidden world all your own. I couldn't wait to get started. Hour after hour, I assembled and disassembled the pump. I spread the liner across the living room carpet and walked around the edges, imagining that the plastic was water. Using colored pencils and graph paper from school, I drew page after page of miniature ponds with microscopic waterfalls. When winter at last retreated, I took spray paint to the brittle brown grass of my backyard, a flat, vacant half-acre that sweeps like a savanna to the scrub-like grove of spiked, gnarled hedge apple trees just beside Brewster Higley Memorial Park. Like a vandal or graffiti artist, I drew overlapping kidney shapes and ovals in intense neon colors until I'd outlined my pond exactly the way I wanted it to be. From a nearby construction site, I gathered stones for the pond's edge, scores of limestone blocks, their uniformity demonstrating the maximum weight an eager boy can carry. Finally, one morning, it was time to dig. I approached the task like a starving man at a banquet. This was the day I had trained for. Armed with a brand new forged steel shovel, a birthday gift from my Aunt Nan, I ripped into the earth with tireless fury, flinging dirt right and left. As the sun rose in the sky, perspiration fell from my face. The hole grew like a living thing. By noon, I had created a depression in the earth that looked like the point of impact of a meteorite. The bowl-shaped hole was roughly 4 feet in diameter, with gently sloping sides nearly 2 feet deep. At this rate, I figured, I'll be basking in tranquility in no time at all. But don't count your water gardens until the hole is dug. Few things happen the way you think they will. A sudden thunderstorm interrupted my work. Boiling across the flat Kansas prairie, it sneaked up on me, announcing its rival with a deafening crash. Kaboom! I knew better than to stay outside with a metal object in my hand when there was lightning in the air. I quickly abandoned the job site. From the safety of my house, I watched the darkened skies release their pent-up power directly over my backyard. My heart quickened as sheets of rain overflowed the hole, turning my modest work in progress into a scale model of what I hoped it would become, the loveliest body of water in all of Melville, Kansas. If America were a dartboard and your dart landed on Melville, you'd be the winner, hands down. That's because Melville is smack dab in the middle of the United States, exactly halfway between the great Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, a place with no coastline, no beach, and no blue ocean views. It wasn't always like this. In prehistoric times, the spot where Melville sits was submerged beneath a vast inland sea. But over the course of a couple of 100 million years or so, things have a way of changing. Today, luckless Melville is as dry as a bone, the most landlocked city in America. Clearly, it's a place that could use a few improvements. The largest body of water in modern Melville is a man-made pond in Higley Park, the state-owned recreation area that borders my backyard. Rectangular in shape and held within its banks by enormous quarried limestone rocks, Higley Pond was dug by bulldozers more than 50 years ago as part of a Kansas flood control plan. My pond, as I imagined it, although not as big as Higley Pond, would be far more attractive than that aging, government-designed lagoon. The spring rains that had diverted me from my mission eventually ended, and the sun returned. With my nose pressed against the breakfast room windows, I found myself gazing not at the sparkling natural beauty of an elegant water garden, but at a waterlogged trap of sticky mud. Reality. I hate how it keeps getting in the way of my dreams. Number 1. Read this statement from line 44. At this rate, I figured, I'll be basking in tranquility in no time at all. What can the reader infer from the narrator's use of the phrase basking in tranquility? A. The narrator expects positive recognition around town for his efforts. B. The narrator believes the vision of peaceful relaxation showed in the video. C. The narrator is unaccustomed to such difficult work and will soon need a rest. Or D. The narrator is comparing himself to a groundhog that is sitting in the sunshine. Number 2. Which quotation best reveals an overall theme of the story? A. Hour after hour, I assembled and disassembled the pump. I spread the line across the living room carpet and walked around the edges, imagining that the plastic was water. Lines 24 and 25. B. Armed with a brand new forged steel shovel, a birthday gift from my Aunt Nan, I ripped into the earth with tireless fury, flinging dirt right and left. Lines 37 and 38. C. But don't count your water garden until the hole is dug. Few things happen the way you think they will. Lines 45 and 46. Or D. It wasn't always like this. In prehistoric times, the spot where Melville sits was submerged beneath a vast inland sea. Lines 61 and 62. Number 3. In lines 61 through 69, how does the narrator's description of the location and history of Melville, Kansas, contribute to the plot? A. It demonstrates that the new pond is better than other ponds. B. It reveals the foolishness of the narrator's attempt to create a new pond. C. It emphasizes the importance of the new pond to the narrator. D. It explains the town's need for a new pond. Number 4. Read this statement from lines 13 and 14. It has everything we need, and, except for the tools, rocks, plants, fish, accessories, electrical power to the site, and the hole itself, it did. Why does the author most likely include this description of the pond building kit? A, to maintain a humorous tone, B, to introduce the main conflict, C, to express the narrator's excitement, or D, to demonstrate the parents' support of their son. Number 5. Read this sentence from line 36. I approached the task like a starving man at a banquet. What is the main purpose of the comparison in this sentence? A, to describe the narrator's lack of attention to detail. B, to emphasize the depth of the narrator's enthusiasm. C, to show that the narrator feels weak from excitement. Or D, to show that the narrator is overcome by the job at hand. Number 6. Which lines from the story reveal a change in the narrator's point of view? A, lines 40 through 44. B, lines 52 through 55. C, lines 57 through 60. Or D, lines 72 through 75. Number 7. How does the narrator's reaction to his pond first filling with water differ from his outlook at the end of the story? A, he is excited at first, but then becomes disappointed. B, he is worried at first, but then feels satisfied. C, he is scared at first and later becomes angry. Or D, he is happy at first and later feels proud. Please stop your test here.